This is how you can cross from one course to another using University of Ibadan as a case study. Alright, crossing from one course to another is not that difficult, but you might have heard that it is very difficult, you have to get this. It is not necessary that you are a first class student. It is basically based on the requirement of each course or the course that you want to cross to. But to be on the safer side, I always advise people to be on the first class if you want to be on the safer side. But it is not necessary that you have to be a first class student. I've seen a couple of students that cross from one course to another without being a first class student. But this is not to downgrade the essentiality of being a first class student when it comes to crossing from one course to another. Alright, I'll be taking it one after the other. Who are the people that can cross from one course to another? If you are an 100 level student now, you cannot cross from one course to another. It is when you get to your 200 level. So crossing form always comes out at the beginning of every session. At the beginning of every session. So 100 level cannot apply, but the people that are going to 200 level can actually apply. And another person that can apply is DE student. But DE students, you cannot apply immediately. And who are DE students? These students they call them direct entry students. They don't come through JAMB or post-UTME. It's either they start JUPEB or Cambridge. So they are the set of people that join you in 200 level. They don't join you in 100 level. So such students, if they want to cross, they have to get to their 300 level. That is, they cannot cross while they just get to campus. At least they are expected to spend a session on campus to know how things is being run. But in this case, if a DE student wants to cross while he is going to or she's going to 300 level, if you are accepted in the course that you want to cross to, you are not going to start in 300 level. You are going to start with 200 level students. I hope I've been able to make that one very clear. So, in respect to the University of Ibadan, if you want to cross from one course to another, a form will always be sent out by the school management at the beginning of every session. But if you are in another school or in another university, you may have to go to your admission office to request the form, or you need a guidance on how you have to go about it. And the rigorous, the stress is not that much as maybe the way you have been told that you want to cross from one course to another. But as I earlier said, that first class is not the major key or prerequisite. But I always advise that make sure that you are a first class student. So at least when others are speaking, you will be able to also contribute. So a form will be sent out. You are going to download it through the link sent to you. Then you fill it and make 4 copies basically, because one will be given to your HOD, the HOD of the department that you want to cross to. Admission office will request one. I think one will go to items. Items, basically, we use items in the University of Ibadan. They are basically the people that are in charge of computing in respect to a particular, like to the University of Ibadan. We call them items. I can't remember the full meaning, like full name. That's just abbreviation, like information technology stuff. So basically, you fill the form, then you go to consent your HOD, you consent the HOD of the department that you want to cross to. Then this how it's been done. In that form, there's a place that the HOD of the department that you're going to will sign you in, and there's a place that your HOD will also sign you out. But the problem that students face in most occasions is the fact that you've been signed in, or you are signed in the department that you want to cross to, and your HOD refuses to sign you out. That is, you are on the fence. And in that case, please do not make any attempt to go to that course. Start taking courses or classes with them. It is very, very dangerous, because your HOD must consent to it. The HOD of the department that you're going to must also consent to it. So it won't be a shock to you. Maybe after you have graduated from the university and you'll be like, maybe you just come to the university, you do not belong to any course, or you do not belong to any department, basically. So your HOD must sign you out. Then the HOD of the department that you're going to must sign you in before anything is being done. And what are the things that can actually hindrance you from? I can remember while I was in my 100 level, there was a girl that did very well. She got 303 in her JAMB, 79 in her post-UTME. And she did, UI very strict when it comes to subject combination. You have to be very, very careful when it comes to choosing the subject combination for your JAMB. You have to search very well to know the subject combination for your course or course of study. So she did both government and economics. Both courses are considered social sciences course in the University of Ibadan. That is, if you want to study any course in the humanity, like art and humanity, I'm talking about faculty of arts, you must not have both together. You can actually have government. Economics is not is personal or grata, it's unwelcome in art and humanity. So you don't need to do both government and economics together. You have to do maybe government, CRS, literature, and English. So that's how it's being done. So the girl was not allowed to cross from one course to another because of that subject combination. And that's one thing. Another thing is the fact that in most occasions, your HOD may not want to release you because it is believed that students that want to cross from one department to another, they are always like bright students and intelligent students because they always try to secure their first class. So the HOD or your HOD, your department HOD may find it difficult to release you. So in most occasions, in that case, what do? You may confine in one lecturer that can stand in place for you to reach out to that lecturer, to that HOD, that just to beg for you, if that is your interest. But crossing from one department to another is not as that difficult as that, but you have to work very hard, as I earlier said. Maintain your first class to be on the safer side. But I've seen a couple of students that have been able to cross from one department to another without being a first class student. So first class student. Another thing you have to do is you have to write a letter. I forgot the title of the letter, but the letter is basically telling I don't think you need a letter. You don't need a letter because your lecturer has actually consent, your HOD has actually consent to the fact that you want to cross from one department or one course to another. It is when maybe you have been a university student before, then you start another JAMB, then you want to change your course. Maybe you put in for another course where you sit another JAMB or you start another JAMB. You need to defer or a kind of annotation letter to HOD that I'm no more in this department, I've sat another JAMB and all like that. So basically, this is how you transfer from one course to another. From one course to another. So it's either if your university management sent out the form, or you go to your admission office to request the form yourself and fill it. Then you have for guidance on how you are to go about it. This is all about it. If there's anything that I've not been able to say in this video, or there's any question that you want to ask, you can DM, you can put it in the comment section. I'm going to take my time to make sure that I reply all the comments, all the questions in the comment section. If you are coming across my page for the first time, I'm imploring you to please subscribe to this channel, share to others, and like. Thank you and God bless you.